Now, it might help if certain reporters actually knew anything about the impeachment process. Anyway, here with more, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is with us. Mr. Speaker, great to have you. Why isn't it, maybe you should explain for the rest of the media what the difference is between an inquiry and an actual impeachment and what you mean by the apex of power.
Well, thank you for having me on, Sean. And just so everybody understands, when Congress, it's our role and constitutional responsibility for oversight, to have investigations. We just don't go out and think of these investigations. We have people from the IRS came forth with information. We have President Joe Biden, who told us when he's running that they received no money from China and he had nothing to do with his business. We've now found that, no, we've had informants that the FBI pays who came and said that they think it's pay to play with the Bidens. We've now found that the Biden family created 20 shell companies while he was vice president, that he received 16 of 17 payments from Romania while he was vice president, the family, paid all the way down. Well, if you have all these questions and you have an attorney general who says one thing and IRS whistleblowers coming forth saying something else, you want to know who's lying and what's the information. I would think the Biden family would want to know that. When you move to an impeachment inquiry, it empowers Congress, Republicans and Democrats, within their subpoena to be able to get the answers they need. Because we have found time and again, we haven't seen anything like this since the Nixon administration, using their government to shut down any time we had a question. I would think the Biden family would want to clear their name. I mean, if President Biden told us ahead of time they'd never got any money and that Hunter Biden was the smartest person he knew, but now we found out that he attended dinners, and after one dinner at Cafe Milano, they got $3.5 million from a Russian oligarch who didn't get sanctioned after they entered Ukraine. And then we found that Hunter got a Porsche. These are questions you have to understand why. And why did the government allow the statute of limitations to run out on Hunter Biden when they don't do that to the American public? The IRS makes you sign a waiver to extend the statute of limitations so it will not run out. But why are they being treated differently? And we should know the answers to these questions. That empowers Congress, Republicans and Democrats of their committee, to be able to get the information if somebody fights from providing it to them.
Well, we even learned more because the Russian oligarch, former First Lady of Moscow at the Cafe Milano, where Joe dined with one of Hunter's foreign business partners, also that included a $120 million real estate investment on top of the $3.5 million. The oligarch in Kazakhstan, wired the money so Hunter can get himself a brand new Porsche. How great is that? I wonder what he did for all that to deserve that brand new car. Here's where I want to go with this, though, because to me, I don't care how much the media ignores it or the Democratic Party ignores it. This is a real Joe Biden, not Hunter Biden, bribery scandal allegation here. We know now the following. Let's go through the facts. We know that Joe lied both as a president and as a candidate when he repeatedly denied ever speaking to Hunter, his brother, or his words, anybody for that matter, about their foreign business dealings. We know that was a lie. We know that Joe Biden leveraged $1 billion taxpayer dollars in loan guarantees for Ukraine and insisted that a prosecutor be fired in 6 hours. As a result of that, his son Hunter, who was sitting on a board that he admitted on Good Morning America that he had no experience to be on, continued to get paid. Ultimately, it was millions of dollars in the end. And my question is, tell me how that's not influence peddling. The bribery statute, Mr. Speaker, does not demand that somebody benefit themselves financially. In this case, the vice president, as the 1023 form pointed out, took a specific action, and his family, was involved in personal enrichment, that being Hunter, based on his actions. Is that bribery to you?
Well, Sean, everything that you just talked about, nobody in America knew until you had a change in Congress. The FBI didn't act on their information from their informant. No one came forth. They took the words of this president. And you were right. This isn't about Hunter Biden. This is about paying to play for the Biden family, because the money goes to 9 different members through shell companies, much like the informant said. So we will continue to follow the information wherever it takes us and provide it to the American public. The difference here is we don't do it for political purposes. We follow the Constitution. That's exactly what was played out during the Nixon administration in Congress. They voted to have an impeachment inquiry. And I raised it on this show not long ago that because the actions of the Biden administration withholding information, that would rise to the level where we'd need impeachment inquiry to give the strength of the Congress to get the information that we need to give to the American public and follow through on our constitutional authority. That is exactly what we're doing, and that's exactly what we'll continue to do.
But Devon Archer's quoted as saying that hiring Hunter was, for them, an influence play. Those are his words, not my words.
Yes.
We know Joe lied. We know the family benefited. We know he took actions. Why would a vice president ever go to Ukraine and demand a prosecutor get fired? Why would they leverage $1 billion in the relationship for, if it didn't benefit the Biden family? And just like the WhatsApp message.
What's interesting is
I'm sitting here with my father. A week later, $5 million ends up in their coffers.
Now, remember, Sean, you're not putting a timeline on this. We knew about Biden going after the attorney general because he did that in his own words. We never knew because we just now got this, just a week ago from Devon, saying that they were being pushed from Burisma, saying we need to do something about this. What was that in Dubai?
We need
and
help from D.C.
5 days later, action are taken. Yes, when what you're finding is all this information's being gathered is coming through the investigations of the Republican Congress that we will continue to follow through and we will continue to bring more. And we will take it wherever it takes. And if it rises to the level, we will do our constitutional duties. And this is the part I want America to know. America has a right to know if there was pay to play. America has a right to know if Garland is lying to him. America has a right to know in this FBI whether they investigated. And are there pay to play when it comes to this president? I would think this president would want to clear that name rather rapidly. Give us his bank statements. Don't fight us when we need information.
Do you believe we are looking at a bribery scandal with Joe Biden, who's now president, actions he took as vice president in exchange for family enrichment?
Well, I don't know of any other family that puts together in government 20 shell companies while you're the vice president of America. My family has no shell companies. I don't know of any other business in America that puts shell companies what do you produce? You don't produce any products. And if you're an expert when it comes to foreign policy, why isn't it Italy or the UK or France hiring you? Why is it just Ukraine, Russia, China, Romania? And why is then at the time advocating and putting your family members on boards that you want action in? Why are you providing these families Porsches? Why are you saying you have no saying in this business, but now we find, lo and behold, you've gone to dinners. And after those dinners, $3.5 million flows. Why do you say you have no money from China came, but now we proved it? I think there's enough proof out there that this Biden family needs to come forward and show there wasn't a pay to play. America deserves more, and Americans want to know. And the one thing I will tell you is, as this Congress, the People's Congress, we will follow the facts and provide it to the American public, just like the Constitution tells us to do.
Speaker McCarthy, thank you. We'll follow it closely. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.